Have you ever seen a cool design on a t-shirt and wondered how did they make it? Well, today I'm going to teach you how to screen print on t-shirts. According to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, screen printing is a process where ink is forced through a mesh screen onto a surface to create a design. In discussing screen printing, I will discuss the materials needed to screen print, how to prepare your artwork for screen printing, and the process of actually printing on a t-shirt. Now, in terms of materials, according to the Anatol Equipment Manufacturing Corporation, these are some materials you need to screen print. So first of all, you're going to need screens. For screens, there are 3 different mesh levels which are used to print on t-shirts. They are 110, 160, and 230. These numbers tell us how many holes there are in the screen per square inch, which determines which one we're going to use based on the complexity of the artwork. Next, you're going to need some emulsion. Emulsion is a light-sensitive liquid that is put onto the screen to stop ink from going through holes where you don't want it to go. Next, you're going to need ink. You're going to want the colors to match the shirt you're doing and whatever artwork you're trying to print. You also need to choose between water-based ink, which dries out fast, or plastisol ink, which is a more gel-like ink that can be sit out for months at a time without drying out. It just depends on how long the job's going to take. Next, you're going to need an exposure unit. The exposure unit is used to expose the image of the artwork onto the emulsion screen. Some more materials you're going to need is a screen printing press to screen print the t-shirts, film to print the artwork on, a squeegee, adhesive, a flash cure unit, and a conveyor dryer. Now that you have all your materials ready, we can go ahead and start preparing for screen printing. When screen printing, you obviously need something to print onto the t-shirt. According to screenprinting.com, when designing artwork, they recommend using programs such as Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, or Procreate to create your designs. They recommend using these programs because they help separate and clean up the artwork, and they have tools specifically designed to help with the screen printing process. Next, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that the artwork is of good quality. A bad piece of artwork leads to a bad screen print quality as the faults of the artwork become more apparent when the ink is printed on the shirts. After these requirements are met, you want to print out the negative of your artwork onto the film to create the stencil design. When the artwork is done, it's time to prepare the screen. According to customplant.co.uk, first you have to choose what mesh you're going to use that suits the complexity of the design. Now, what we talked about earlier, you're going to want to choose a mesh based on how detailed the artwork is. Generally, most of the time, you're going to be using the 160 mesh. But for super complex designs, you're going to use the 230, and for less complex designs, you're going to use the 110 for your screen. Next, you're going to want to put the emulsion on the screen. How you're going to do that is you're going to take the emulsion and you're going to spread it equally on both sides and let it dry in a dark area. Now, the emulsion is light sensitive, so you have to either do it in a dark room with no light in it at all, or you have to do it with these special yellow light bulbs that don't emit UV so that the emulsion doesn't harden. After the emulsion is dried on the screen, you're going to want to take the negative artwork that you printed out and put it on the screen. Next, you're going to put it in the exposure machine to harden the emulsion around the design, but not the design itself. When that's done, you're going to carefully spray out the negative design with the hose to create the stencil. Once that is dry, you're going to tape off the edges of the screen, and then it's ready to be printed on. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take the screen and you're going to put it on the t-shirt press. From there, you're going to start to align it on the press to where you want the design to fit on the t-shirt. Next, for screen printing, you're going to want to do a test print. You're going to go ahead and do a test print to ensure that everything is lined up correctly on the t-shirt and that the emulsion did not flake off, letting extra ink through where you don't want the ink to go. Once that is done, you can start on the t-shirts. First, what you're going to do is you're going to lay down adhesive paper and spray it with adhesive so that the shirt sticks to the press rather than the ink. Next, you're going to stick the shirt onto the press. And with the squeegee, you're going to put some ink onto the screen. Next, you're going to take the squeegee and you're going to pull the ink all the way over the design like shown in that picture. And after you're done with that, you're going to press the screen all the way down onto the t-shirt, hold the squeegee at a 45-degree angle, and press all the way down across the artwork so that the ink is pressed through the mesh onto the t-shirt. Once that is done, you're going to remove this screen from the t-shirt, and you're going to take the t-shirt out and put it through the conveyor dryer. Once it's gone through the conveyor dryer, your t-shirt's dry and it's ready to go. It's all good. You're done screen printing. In conclusion, today, I discussed how to prepare for screen printing, the materials needed for screen printing, and finally, the process of how to screen print a t-shirt. Though it might not seem easy, anyone can screen print their own t-shirt designs. Thank you.